All right, so I just left the recruiter's office to officially apply to the United States Army Reserve. Today, I turned in my application and supporting documents, IDs, passports for myself and all three of my children, birth certificates, social security cards, divorce decrees, parenting agreements, college transcripts, and high school diplomas. So my next steps are for my application is going to get submitted to MEPS. Once MEPS approves that physical request, the appointment can then be scheduled 72 hours later. There's a waiting period for whatever reason. I don't really know why. Over the weekend, I did a lot of what people do. I Google stuff. And honestly, I pretty much disqualified myself in my head all freaking weekend, okay? One of the things that worried me was the application asked about student loans. I have a master's degree, and with interest included, I'm right around 100,000 in student loans. So that immediately had me worried. Also had me thinking about personal debt too, because the internet, man, y'all wild out there. Y'all will have people thinking that you can't join the military if you owe anybody anything. Okay. But according to my recruiter, that's not exactly true. You can have debt. They don't expect you not to have debt. There's just a point where financial concerns can raise questions because obviously they want to make sure that you are not going to sell your country out, okay? So they do run a credit check if that's something that you've been wondering if they do. Now, I do have some debt, including a few collection accounts, but nothing extreme. All right, now there's the duck walk. Listen, y'all, I am 42 years old, okay? I don't be getting low like that no more, okay? But I got this, all right? I got this. I talked to my recruiter about it, and he said it's not as bad as you think, and he said not to stress about it. He probably says that about every single thing. But honestly, I don't even remember worrying about the duck walk when I was 19. But that also shows my age because back then we didn't have social media and Google convincing us that we were disqualified from something before we even tried. Most things were just simply word of mouth. Now, I probably didn't even know what the duck walk was until I got there or that it was even going to be a thing. Now, one thing my recruiter did say is that a lot of things are waiverable these days. You just need a recruiter who's willing to actually do the paperwork. I also already know I'm not going to make weight or even tape right now, but his advice was to still go to MEPS, still get that out of the way just in case something else comes up that does require a waiver. The military is very much hurry up and wait. I'm sure you've probably heard that before. We can move quickly on our part, but a lot of the timeline depends on other people and approvals. The urgency for me is age. Today is May 11, 2026, and I have to ship before my 43rd birthday on January 24th, 2027. One other thing I'll say is this. Re-enlisting into the military at 42 gives me a different perspective. My why is different now that I have children. And I know there are a lot of jokes floating around about age since the Army lifted the waiver requirement for applicants over 35. But I'll say this. The Army is going to teach you real quick that age doesn't matter as much as mindset. At 42, I have more life experience and my battle buddy may only be 18, 17, 19, whatever. But once that uniform goes on, we're on the same team. We push each other. We're going to learn from each other. And we're going to make sure that nobody gets left behind. The Army isn't built on age. It's built on trust, discipline, and teamwork. Sometimes those younger soldiers bring energy and confidence while the older ones bring patience, wisdom, and resilience. So different backgrounds, different generations, same mission. Here we are. I'm still trying. I'm still nervous. I'm still hopeful, but I'm rebuilding at 42. So if you want to follow the journey, subscribe. Feel free to ask me anything. This is Dear Diary. It's E.